that could be bad. If you've got both of these organisms present, at the end you would only see these. And you would put in the computer, oh, the culture has gram-positive organisms. And you're missing the gram-negative ones completely, which means I'm giving the patient the wrong. Yep. Let me see how that works. Okay. Next, before I give you these next couple of questions here, I want to introduce you to the topics of what's called a false positive and a false negative. I'm going to give you an example of a false positive. A false positive is when a test comes up positive and it should not have come up positive. That's why we call it a false positive. Would you like the shining example of a false positive? Here's an example. This patient right here has a positive pregnancy test.
Oops.
That's a perfect example of a false positive. Agreed? Right? Or let's say that you have tuberculosis. And the laboratory says that your, what type of stain? Acid-fast stain was negative. That would be a false negative. By the way, does that false negative put people in danger? Yeah, because now you're going to cough all over babies and stuff. Right? So we understand when I use the term false positive and false negative? Because I will be using those terms on your exam. So I want you to tell me what happens if we use alcohol for 30 seconds. No, better yet, 60 seconds. What happens if we use alcohol for 60 seconds? Tell me what's going to happen. What's going to happen if you use alcohol for 60 seconds? Good for you. So then what is the result going to be, a false positive or false negative? False negative. Because if you use alcohol for 60 seconds, this will become transparent eventually. Then when you use the red dye, both of these would be red. This is correct. This should be red. But this one would end up being a false negative, meaning you're going to say it's gram negative, and that is
Gram positive.
false. Right. What if I skip the iodine? Tell me what's going to happen. You guys got to tell me. I don't even use the iodine at all. Tell me what's going to happen.
We won't be able to identify.
Keep going. Which means it will ultimately result in a. Okay. What happens if I skip the alcohol?
We won't be able to clarify the gram negative, then it won't stain red. And then we have both 2 gram positive, so it's going
Result
to in a false negative.
See that stuff right there? That'll sink you on your exam if you don't learn those terms right there. Those four or five questions right there will just knock you right out of the pool. So I've already given you examples of questions on the exam.
Yay.
Right?